Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Trust you all having a wonderful weekend. I don't know what happened to my previous video. I was just recording and poops, it all went out, but it's okay. I will have to do the recording all over again. So, welcome again to another session on the USDJPY. And in this video, we shall be doing a follow up analysis to the previous one I did here last week. And in fact, last week was a profitable situation for us on the USDJPY. I'm going to be calling the USDJPY our trade for the week as we were able to take some huge profit on this one. And talking about the opportunities we took last week, I would like to share with you how last week went by. And this is what we had at the beginning of the week last week, where we were able to identify a channel between the 131.00 level and the 130.650, where we were looking out for either a breakout or a breakdown of the channel to give us an opportunity to either buy or sell the USD JPY. So we position ourselves in such a way that as soon as price broke down the 130.650, we were able to take advantage of this. I think over 100 pips move before price action came back into our entry zone. And as soon as price came back, we began to see buy pressure and we anticipated a breakout of the 131.00 level to be an opportunity to buy the USD JPY. And in fact, that happened on the 4th of January when we saw the final breakout of the 131, which gave us that opportunity to join that potential move. And we waited for a retest of the structure here to add more position to that trade. And in fact, that was exactly what happened on the 5th. We saw price come back to do a retest of that trend line somewhere around the 132.00 level, and we were able to add one position. We added another one at the breakout of the 132.750, 720 rather. As you can see here, we waited for that breakout to happen, and it did here on the 5th. We saw the breakout. We added another one that was a third position for our buy trade. And then we also look forward to another breakout of the 133.400, a retest of that structure, which happened also here. And we rode that move all the way to our TP target sitting at the 134.500 level. And as soon as price tested the 134.500, taking us out of our trade as profit, we waited and to see how price action will react with that level. And what happened was that on the 15 minutes time frame, we identified a channel at the 134.550 and the 134.250 level, where we looked out for either a breakout or breakdown to join that decline. And in fact, we saw the breakdown of that structure here on the last day of last week, and we were able to scoop over 100 pips on that move before we started seeing buy pressure coming in again at the 133.400. It was a huge profitable week for us, and congrats to everyone who was part of this profitable journey. And for those who would like to have a peep into the daily commentaries on how this trade went by, I will be dropping the link to that video right in the description box of this current video. So with that being said, let's dive into the current structure. And for the fact that this is going to be a follow-up video, I will just be moving right into the present structure at the 131.00 level. And for those who would like to see um how what went on before we got to this point, I will drop the link to the previous video, the top right hand side of your screen, so you can go on there and check it out. So right now, the 131.00 level is going to be the most important structure here that we shall be using to guide trading activity, like I said last week. So this is what we are using to guide our trading activity for this year. And if you look at how this level has been a major determinant of price action, if we go to as far back as the month of May last year, we saw how that level held selling pressure at one point in time. Then we saw the breakout of that structure here in the month of June last year. And since the breakout of that level, you can see here price has continued to respect this level, and this level has been a strong buying niche for participants in this market. As you can see here, every attempt by the sellers to break down the structure has been met with strong resistance from the buyers. So at this point in time, we had the 131.00 level as our key level. So this is where we were last week. We rode this move all the way up into the structure. And one thing about this structure is the fact that as soon as price got into the 135 level, we saw a sharp rejection of that structure, giving us a clue that there are still tendencies of sellers in this market. And look at how this level also shares a confluence with that bearish trend line that we have here, further emphasizing the strength of the sellers at this point. But in as much as we have a bearish momentum here in the last 3 to 4 months, we still need to take into consideration the importance of the 131.00 level, which is a strong demand niche. There is a tendency that price might even just come back down into the structure to incite another wave of bullish momentum. But if so, in that case, we need to be very, very careful and really understand what is really going on around this level. So, at this point, there are two options that could likely happen here. We could have a situation where price action respects this key level one more time to incite another wave of bullish momentum. And on the other hand, we could have a situation where price breaks down the 131 level, taking out all the buy position here, gaining some liquidity to incite a fresh new bearish momentum to the downside. So these are the things we are going to be looking forward to. But before we go there, we need to scale down to our lower time frame so that we can understand what is really going on around here, at least since the beginning of this year, to determine if we are either going to buy or sell the USDJPY for this week. And before I go into the details on the lower time frame, it's appropriate that we look at the economic calendar. Look out for macroeconomic event that's likely going to be bringing some liquidity into this market to drive price movement. And in this regard, I was able to pull out some high impact macroeconomic event for this week. And in fact, we don't have anything for the Japanese yen. We only have macroeconomic events for the US dollar. And when we look at what we have here, on Thursday, we have the consumer price index coming up and really don't have a consensus yet. So definitely participants in this market will be anticipating this event. And on Friday, we have the publication from Michigan, the Consumer Sentiment Index also. And from the look of things here, consensus are is quite higher than the previous month. So let's see if we are going to be exceeding our expectation for this week, or price or the data will be below expectation. So what we can see here, participants in this market will definitely be looking forward to this macroeconomic event, and we shall be seeing the reflection of this anticipation on the charts as price action. So right, going back down into the chart right now, and let's look at things from a technical standpoint. So in that regard, I will be scaling down to the 4 hours time frame, where I was able to identify a couple of structures that I think we can use to guide our trading activity for this week. So right here on the 4 hours time frame, this is what I was able to identify here. Though we have been on a bearish momentum since in the last 3 to 4 months here, and as a result of this, we had this bearish trend line, as you can see on your screen right now. In addition to this trend line, are the couple of levels here, the 138, the 134.500, where we took our profit for the buy position, and that's exactly the point where selling pressure came in. So at this point, the 134.500 seems most important here. Look at how this level has been a major determinant of price action in the past. Here in the month of December, we saw buy pressure come in here. Mid month of December, we saw another buy pressure before a final breakdown of that structure happened here. The later part of December, we saw selling pressure again coming from that level. And in fact, last week, as soon as price got into the 134.500, we saw huge engulfing candle taking price out of that structure over to the downside here. So on the daily time frame, remember we identified the 131 level here. which appears to be the demand zone, and we have the resistant level at the 134.500. And so if we look at the structure here, looking at what has been happening here in the last 2 to 3 weeks, you will understand that price has been caught within a consolidation phase between the 134.500 level and the 131.00 area to emphasize some certain level of indecision in this market right now. And following the buy pressure we have been witnessing since the beginning of this year, I'm of the opinion that we might be having buyers come in considering how strong that 131 level is for buying power. So in that regard, I connected a series of higher lows here to give me that temporary bullish trend line. I will call it a temporary trend line in the meantime, as we are still in a long-term bearish momentum unless we have a significant breakout of this bearish trend line. Then we could say that bullish trend line is valid and valid trend line for us at this point. So right now, price has come back down to settle at around the 132.00 level, a level which at one point also had buying power. And look at what we have here. That 132.00 level shares a confluence with that bullish trend line we just identified now. So there are two things I want to be looking forward to here this week. Well, the first one is that level could turn out to be a buy niche, where if we start seeing buy pressure right above the structure, respecting that bullish trend line one more time, a breakout retest on our lower time frame could give us an opportunity to join that rally to the upside. However, if price breaks down that structure, followed by selling pressure below the 132.00 level and the bullish trend line, then we might be looking forward to selling opportunities. And if this leads to a further breakdown of the 131 level, taking out all the buy position here, then this might likely be a confirmation that sellers are in to stay here. So following by selling pressure, then we want to be thinking of adding more position to our existing trade. So these are my views here on the USDJPY. At this point, I will pause the video, but be rest assured that I will be jumping right in the comment section of this video to give you an update of what my expectation will be like after monitoring how participants in this market will be reacting to this current structure during the early hours of the new week. I hope this video has been of immense help in making your personal decision on the USDJPY, and if it did, kindly support this project by clicking the like button. You also want to follow me on my TradingView platform at Dark Sherry, spelled DARCSHERRY, so that you don't miss out on the regular updates I normally share in the comment section of all of my videos. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you right here in the comment section as we get prepared for the new week. Do have a wonderful day. Bye bye.